What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Wezot Talks, an American talking about football and Manchester United. If you're new, hit that subscribe button. But Brian Mbeumo, is the deal done? Here we go for Fabrizio Romano coming up soon. We've got some more updates on Sancho and much more to talk about here in this quick update video. A little bit different as I am currently dog sitting, so apologies for the quality of video and audio. But need to get this out to you guys here this afternoon or this evening for you guys as I am recording this. Brian Mbeumo is potentially set for his medical at Manchester United as early as next week. Multiple reports citing that. I've got the handy-dandy phone here by my side, as you guys can't see it on the computer, as I'm not able to pull it up on the laptop. But it is looking very good for Mbeumo and the medical happening next week at United. Now, again, things could always happen. Stuff happens in the world of football, but all indications are medical going down next week. It sounds like the figures are roughly around 65 million for Mbeumo, and I don't know if that fully includes all add-ons or not, or if there's still a few more add-ons left to get done for Mbeumo, but that is going to be a huge boost to the team once they get him in. I am honestly 95% sure that this deal is going to get done and over the line so that he is a United player next season. What kit jersey or what number is he going to wear for his kit? Is he really going to play a 10 alongside Cunha up top? How is that going to work with Fernandez? Is he going to play the pivot? I know he doesn't really play the pivot very well. He's not a defensive-minded player. Kobe Mainu, what does that mean for him? I know that he has been working on getting a new deal done at Manchester United as well. Funny enough, Tom Heaton able to sign a one-year deal to come back to United for one more season. So nice to have a little bit of stability in the veteran department to help out the younger players. And I honestly think that that's what he's there for. So that's really nice. Quick piece of news there. Luke Shaw has been at the club for, 11 years? I can look on my phone right now, but I want to know your guys' thoughts on Luke Shaw and his time here at United. Yeah, 10 years ago today. That is actually insane. And funny enough, I did get the jersey or the kit, I should say, that he signed with, or not his exact kit that he signed with, but like the year of the kit that he signed with. It was the jersey I'll be wearing for our live stream on games this year. So a little funny there. We did deck it out. It's Ryan Giggs, Champions League font and badges and everything. Got to go with Giggsy. Absolute amazing player. But Mbeumo, the deal, I think that is really going to elevate their attacking third. Now it's a matter of, can they get the striker in? Gyökeres, is he still going to be able to get in? Just checking on the latest there. It looks like about 7 hours ago, Daily Mirror reporting and also retweeted or posted by the United stand. Manchester United are back in pole position to sign Victor Gyökeres. He is ready to reunite with his former manager, Ruben Amorim. In terms of how real that report is, and again, that's coming from the Daily Mirror, and you got to take all the tabloid / newspaper / normal streams of reporting, like Sky Sports or whatever you want to call it, whatever outfit puts it out there. You have to take it with a grain of salt. It could just be something, let's throw something, let's hope it hits the wall and sticks, and people run with it. But if they're also reporting it, I mean, I would like to think that there's something out there for it. Now, again, Arsenal still possibly the front runner in my mind. Even though they're saying pole position to sign Gyökeres is United, I don't see it unless there's something happening with Sesko that he's going to get the deal done with Arsenal and they don't want to move on with another striker, as it looks like Arsenal are also in the works of getting Eze from Crystal Palace on that left-hand side. I know Martinelli has been injured a bunch the past 2 seasons, it feels like. So getting stability on that left-hand side, another English player, him on the left, you've got Saka on the right. That's a pretty deadly combination if you can either get Sesko or Gyökeres in there. I feel like with those two players and how they play Saka and Eze, if Eze does go to Arsenal, that Arsenal would want to lean towards more of a physical, larger type striker like a Gyökeres, but who knows? I could be completely wrong on that. I feel like that would be great for their attack. But in terms of United, Cunha and Mbeumo and Fernandes, I mean, that's a deadly midfield combination right there. And we know Fernandes, with his time even this past UEFA Nations League, that when he's playing with higher elevated, better type players, he typically plays better himself of like, okay, I can actually make this play, and the guy's going to get on the ball and actually make something happen out of it. So I feel like with Mbeumo and Cunha, that might unlock something that we haven't seen from Bruno in quite some time. I know that there are glimpses, especially during last season being the leading goal scorer on the team, there are glimpses of his brilliance and how his vision really is and truly is, and can move the ball around, the free kicks, the placement for the attack. I think sky's the limit with those three up front. We're not predicting anything until roster is fully set in stone, or at least getting up to game one against Arsenal to start the season as close as it can be with the transfers they're going to make. But Mbeumo, I think, really does elevate that attacking midfield to the next level. It's just a matter of, can they then get a striker to be a nice complementary piece? And if it is a Gyökeres, I mean, that's not a complementary piece. That is the main piece that you want on that team. And I think that would be an absolute awesome deal if they could get that done, along with some other things that are going on. I know they're having a real hard time with trying to move on from players right now. It seems like Sancho in the news, as he has been, I feel like the past week and a half now, of, well, I'm going to United and the club, whether it's Juventus, Napoli, Fenerbahce, agree to terms, and it seems like it's going to be around about 25 million. I don't know if they could get up to 30 for him. Probably not. So let's just go on the lower end of what has been reported and put out there. 25 million pounds to move on from Sancho. Okay, not as much as I would like to hope for United and what they're looking to then turn that around and bring in, because they're also trying to move on from the likes of Rashford and Antony and Sancho and a bunch of other players. But Sancho, it seems like he cannot strike personal terms with the club because he wants too much money. He's making over 300 plus grand a week right now at United, and I don't think any club is wanting to touch that for him right now. And I'm pretty sure that that's what he's going for. And I don't see it. He, at most, because let's say he goes to Juventus. Is he really a starter? I don't know. Maybe. If he goes to Fenerbahce, he's probably going to be a starter. They're the one team, Fenerbahce, who are actually willing to meet his personal demands, whether that's 300, 325, 315, 310 grand a week. I don't know what that actual figure is, and we won't know until a deal gets done. But Fenerbahce are the ones who are looking to, who can actually meet those demands. But I don't think he wants to go to the Turkish league. I mean, it's still in Europe, but I don't think he wants to play Turkish football, even though it would be Champions League. He would get Champions League playing for Mourinho in front of an amazing fan base with Fenerbahce. But I don't think he's ready to go to Turkey just yet in his mind. And that's probably why the deal hasn't been here we go by Fabrizio Romano, and why some of these Italian teams are still sniffing around for him, is because the deal's not over the line with Fenerbahce. So that's why Juventus and Napoli, and they're all going in there. And there are reports out there that Douglas Luiz might be on a short list to come to United. I feel like that would be a really solid move. I know things haven't been the best for him at Juventus, as he's had some pretty tough injuries over the past season there. And I know his time when he was at Aston Villa was probably the best he's ever played and ever looked. He looked like a top-tier starting midfield player in the Premier League, which in my mind is one of the top leagues in the world, if not the top league in the world. And I think that would be a good get. I don't know how reliable those sources are, or if maybe a swap deal is in there for sending Sancho, or maybe that kind of just opens things up that if Sancho's deal gets over the line with Juventus, they bring him in. Maybe the Juventus are like, okay, we'll talk to you more about Douglas Luiz and what would you like for him, and go from there. So, and maybe they see something in Douglas Luiz that they're not happy with. Maybe he's not recovering well from his injuries. And maybe they just don't want the headache of, man, this guy's always injured. We're paying him X amount of money to basically sit on the bench and do nothing and sit in the recovery room. I don't know if that's the case, but in sports here in America, that's sometimes what happens with some top players, where their talent is so good and the potential is so great, but they're always injured and can't get on the field to produce, even though it is in their grasp, it is in their reach to do so. They just can't get out there. And when they do get out there, a pulled groin, a pulled hamstring, a torn this, a torn that, whatever it might be. So I don't know if that is going to be the smart move for United or not. But Sancho, again, it's going to be tough. Again, for Mbappe, sounding like they are ones to get it over the line with potentially agreeing to terms with United, 20, 25, 30, however much million it's going to be. And then it sounds like has agreed to personal terms with Sancho, but he hasn't signed off on it yet, obviously. Because, again, I don't think he wants to go to the Turkish league. He wants to stay in a top league in Europe, such as Serie A, such as the Bundesliga, such as La Liga. I don't see him going to France. I haven't heard anything from French clubs linking him whatsoever. Speaking of French clubs, Lyon, the team that United had that amazing Europa League semifinal or quarterfinal game against, I should say, that second leg, are now relegated to Ligue 2, or however you say it, the French League 2, due to financial issues. So that's absolutely crazy right there. In terms of anything else that we want to bring up here in this video, I don't think there is too much left to talk about unless we have breaking anything. No, Braga stuff. 8 minutes ago, Shanghai. No, nothing really worth bringing up too much. I know it's a cool thing coming from Telefootball. Premier League TV coverage will feature touchline interviews with substituted players for the first time next season. I feel like that is actually going to be pretty spicy, especially if a manager brings a guy off, somebody tries to do an interview with him, and maybe it doesn't go so hot, or pushes the person away, or it could get pretty heated, because sometimes those players who come off are in the heat of the battle and really don't want to be subbed off, but they end up getting subbed off. That's going to be really spicy and interesting to see what happens there. A bunch of stuff about the Heaton deal that we already talked about. United have been scouting several goalkeepers, including Karneski. I could be butchering that. An Italian goalkeeper, but no concrete talks or negotiations yet. That's directly from Fabrizio. I don't know too much about that goalkeeper. He looks like an absolute beauty just looking at his picture on here. And then the news from the other night, Brian Mbeumo, medical at Manchester United is expected to take place next week. That is from Alex Cook and also Ben Jacobs. So reputable sources, Ben Jacobs, pretty good with Manchester United news, and that's really the big talking point of the day. Haven't really seen too much on Garnacho. We already know where that stands. Him not really wanting to go anywhere. Anywhere that's not where he wants to go, I should say. So a little quiet with him. Obviously, Sancho, I haven't heard really anything or seen anything about Anthony. And I don't know if it's just basically front-running Real Betis, and that's where he's going to end up. Things seem to have gone pretty well for him there. But I don't know of other clubs interested in him. Sounds like stuff for Højlund has died down pretty much. I know Amarin is really in between a rock and a hard place right now. I know Cunha getting that over the line was great. Seems like Brian Mbeumo is going to be getting over the line. That's great. Now it's a matter of, can they get more players? And again, they need to sell players to be able to buy more players, I think, just given their financial situation. And that is really tough right now when the Rashfords of the world are not wanting to really move unless they go to X place, and X place being Barcelona. And in Barcelona are in for Nico Williams, only looking to loan in Rashford. And if that happens, they're probably only going to cover about 25% of his wages. It's better than United covering all of his wages, which were astronomical. And then you've got the Sancho not being able to agree to personal terms with X, Y, and Z clubs. And in this case, Napoli, Juventus sound like talks are there. Sounds like Fenerbahce could get it over the line, but he doesn't want to go to Turkey. So it's going to be interesting to see what United do moving forward. I want to know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments on everything going on. And Mbeumo coming into the club, trying to sell players. Rashford, I was about to say Amarim. We don't want to sell him. I don't even think you can sell him. He's a manager. Rashford, Antony, Sancho, Garnacho. How are we going to get these players out? What clubs are most likely going to sign them, or what clubs will sign them? I want to know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. But if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a thumbs up, a like on it. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. But that's going to be it for this one, and we will catch you guys in the next video.